The heartbreaking kidnapping, Sharon, Phyllis, and the unseen killer fight for survival. One of the most dramatic and heartbreaking episodes that viewers have witnessed recently on The Young and the Restless is the dangerous kidnapping of Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers. Both women fall into the hands of an unseen killer, are imprisoned in an old mental institution, and face difficult survival challenges. However, this is not just a battle between them and the kidnapper, but also an emotional internal struggle when Sharon and Phyllis face death and decide to find out the identity of the killer. A scary mental facility, the facility where Sharon and Phyllis are held, is truly no place for humans. The old walls, dim lights, and scary sounds make the space more haunting than ever. A strange and ominous alarm is heard repeatedly throughout the scene, as a warning that they cannot escape the kidnapper's surveillance. A blues song also plays at the same time, making Phyllis feel even more frustrated and helpless. Meanwhile, Sharon believes that it is a clue that they can use to escape this terrible place. Despite the fatigue and fear that is invading, Sharon always holds on to hope that she can find a way to save both of them from death. When the song stops, Sharon does not hesitate to question the rules of the game they will face, but only receives a disguised voice over the intercom. The voice declares that they will have to work together to win the only prize, survival. To make matters worse, the kidnapper reveals that he is monitoring them through a camera installed in the room, increasing the tension in the air. Sharon and Phyllis's determination. Sharon, who is known for her tenacious nature and sharp intellect, does not give up easily. She is the first to realize that in order to survive, they cannot fight blindly. Sharon tries to stay calm and searches for every possible clue to find out who is behind this kidnapping. She is the first to realize that although they are being watched, every action can become a weapon to bring the kidnapper to light. Phyllis, despite her strong and unyielding personality, is overcome by stress and a sense of helplessness. The frustration of hearing the blues song playing incessantly is just part of the conflicting emotions she experiences. Phyllis knows that everything is being watched, and she understands that if they are not careful, they will fall into the trap set by the kidnapper. The contrast in Sharon and Phyllis's personalities makes their relationship in this situation even more tense. Sharon, always cool and calm, forces Phyllis to act according to her plan to protect both of them. Phyllis, meanwhile, does not hesitate to fight back and find ways to deceive the kidnapper, which sometimes makes Sharon worried because of her too impulsive temperament. The rising hatred, Mariah feels lost at the same time. Outside the prison, Sharon's daughter Mariah cannot control her emotions when she hears that her mother may be dead. Hatred, resentment, and pain of loss make her seek revenge in every way. Mariah not only has to face the loss of her beloved mother but also has to face the reality that the kidnapper may be someone very close to the family. She will have to find out the identity of the killer, but this is really a difficult challenge. Mariah knows that she cannot rely on her emotions alone to find the truth. She begins to investigate and search for signs and clues that can lead her to the killer. But while she feels hatred and wants revenge, will she be able to overcome those strong emotions and stay calm to find the killer before it is too late? The kidnapping of Sharon and Phyllis is not only a battle for survival, but also a tense psychological battle. Both women do not easily accept death, but they have to face challenges and life and death decisions every second, every minute. Meanwhile, Mariah also constantly searches for the truth and struggles with the dark emotions in her heart. Will Sharon and Phyllis be able to overcome the horrors brought by the kidnapper? Will they be able to find the identity of the killer before it is too late? And will Mariah be able to face the pain of losing her mother and personally carry out justice? This story has just begun, and viewers will not be able to stop watching to witness the dramatic developments and unexpected endings that The Young and the Restless will bring. On The Young and the Restless, viewers are currently following a tense case when Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers are kidnapped and held in an old psychiatric facility. Although initially everyone thought this was a dangerous killer behind the situation, new clues have begun to emerge, gradually making viewers ask, who is really behind this kidnapping? Are familiar characters from The Young and the Restless the culprits, or will a surprise name appear and change the whole situation? Suspect number 1, Ian Ward, an unpredictable old enemy. The number one suspect that many fans think of is Ian Ward, a mysterious and dangerous character from The Young and the Restless. After his appearance in November 2024, Ian shocked the audience with his dark plots, especially when he targeted Sharon and Phyllis, two women with whom he had a very tense relationship. With his previous plots, Ian Ward had enough reasons to take revenge on Sharon and Phyllis. Not only the personal relationships that Ian had with both, but also the fact that he continued to survive past events made many people believe that he could have acted as soon as he had the opportunity. Once the kidnapping incident occurred, the audience could not help but doubt whether Ian was the one behind this incident. Especially when the kidnapper appeared to be too calculating and knew the methods of close surveillance, which was very similar to Ian's style. Someone who was always meticulous in planning and manipulating his victims. Not only that, Ian's return also coincides with the time when Sharon and Phyllis are in trouble, making the possibility of his involvement in this kidnapping more credible than ever. If Ian is indeed the one behind it, his motives are likely related to personal revenge or continuing his dark plots that have not been completed yet. Suspect number 2, Patty Williams, the dangerous obsessive. While Ian is the main suspect, another name cannot be ignored: Patty Williams. Patty, a longtime character on The Young and the Restless, is a mentally ill woman who has a complicated history with both Phyllis and Sharon. Not only does Patty have a difficult relationship with Phyllis, as she was obsessed with Jack Abbott, but she also has a past with Sharon, as they were both in the same mental institution. Patty's return could be an interesting twist in this story. While audiences are familiar with Patty's appearance, one can't help but wonder if Patty is back in Genoa City, and if she is the one who kidnapped Sharon and Phyllis? Especially since both women are locked up in an old mental institution, this could be a clear hint that Patty has returned. However, there is a strange element to this situation. While the actress who previously played Patty is currently starring on Days of Our Lives as Kristen Di Mera, a replacement for Patty could be something that can't be ruled out in the world of soap operas. If Patty is indeed the culprit, audiences would be in for an interesting and surprising twist, with a new actress taking on the role. Nick Newman, is there a personal motive? Another factor to consider is Nick Newman's concern for Sharon and Phyllis. Throughout recent episodes, viewers have noticed that Nick is very concerned about the well-being of both women. Although Nick is not the kidnapper, his relationship with Sharon has always been strained, and it is possible that his feelings towards both Sharon and Phyllis have reached an extreme level. Nick knows that Sharon and Phyllis have always been at odds, and that this rivalry has taken a serious toll on his family. It is possible that in a moment of desperation, he decided to take extreme measures to help them both realize that they may be more similar than they think. Putting Sharon and Phyllis in a situation where they have to work together and fight for survival could be Nick's way of hoping to get them to find common ground with each other, thereby resolving their long-standing conflicts. Whether Nick would actually go so far as to kidnap them to teach them a lesson, however, remains to be seen. From clues to predictions, with the clues already revealed, The Young and the Restless fans are sure to be making a lot of theories about who is behind the kidnapping. Will Ian Ward return and take revenge on Sharon and Phyllis for personal reasons, or will Patty Williams show up to carry out the dark plans she has been harboring for a long time? Or could Nick Newman, with his love life and family issues, make an extreme decision to save the day? With each suspect, their motives and actions are shrouded in mystery, and only time will tell. Small clues, dramatic encounters, and tense situations will create a whirlwind of strong emotions for the audience as everything gradually becomes clear. This kidnapping will certainly not be just a simple battle for survival, but will open up tense battles of wits between the characters, creating one of the most dramatic stories on The Young and the Restless. The story of the kidnapping of Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers has captured the attention of the audience as the two are imprisoned in an old psychiatric facility, where not only cold walls but also dark secrets and conspiracies await. This sets off a dramatic and painful chain of events, as each decision Sharon and Phyllis make could lead to death, and the outcome of this battle for survival will have unforeseen consequences. Painful beginning, Sharon and Phyllis are kidnapped. The story begins when Sharon and Phyllis suddenly go missing, and soon it is discovered that the two have been imprisoned in an old psychiatric facility, where the wards are built in a way that makes everything more haunting than ever. Strange alarm bells ring continuously, an indescribable sound that neither Sharon nor Phyllis can get used to. Not only that, a blues song constantly plays, making Phyllis feel even more frustrated. But Sharon, with her sharp intellect, quickly realizes that the song is not meaningless, it could be an important clue in freeing them. However, when the music stops, it is not silence, but a disguised voice that comes over the intercom. The voice announces that they will have to work together if they want to survive, because the only reward the kidnapper offers them is their own lives. This further strains the already fractious relationship between Sharon and Phyllis. The constant conflicts, rivalries, and competition between the two women become more complicated as they face a common enemy. The kidnapper, a dangerous and mysterious figure, not only monitors Sharon and Phyllis's every move through cameras, but also plays psychological games with them. He tracks the two women's every move, remotely controlling them like puppets, making every event carefully calculated. Sharon and Phyllis, despite being strong people, are faced with a sense of despair and helplessness in this situation. Battle of minds, Sharon and Phyllis. While Sharon tries to stay calm and find a way to resolve the situation, Phyllis becomes frustrated and defiant. Both women have strong but opposite characteristics. Sharon, who is known for her coolness and analytical ability, quickly realizes that she cannot simply deal with the kidnapper with frustration or emotion. She understands that cooperating with Phyllis is the only way to escape this place. Phyllis, despite her strong and independent appearance, cannot easily accept being controlled in such a situation. Frustration builds as she feels that she can do nothing but sit and wait for salvation. However, Sharon tactfully advises that if they want to escape this place, they can only work together, not continue to argue pointlessly. This seems to be a pivotal moment, as both women slowly realize that their survival depends on this cooperation. However, not everyone can easily let go of their long-standing grudges. Throughout the cooperation, conflicts between Sharon and Phyllis continue to arise. Each time one of the two women intends to act alone, the situation becomes more dangerous. Can Sharon and Phyllis really overcome their differences to find a way out of this nightmare? This is the big question that the audience is constantly searching for the answer. When Mariah receives the news that her mother may be dead, her emotions explode. A part of Mariah cannot accept the loss, and the anger over what happened begins to take over. She cannot stop thinking about how to get revenge on the person who caused this pain to her family. This makes her start investigating and trying to find out who is behind the kidnapping, even though she knows that this is extremely difficult and complicated. Mariah has lost her mother, whom she loved and respected. But her pain is not only the loss, but also the anger at knowing that someone intentionally caused her family pain. She cannot ignore the truth and is determined to find out the identity of the kidnapper, despite the difficulties she faces. The pain turns into motivation to make Mariah stronger, but can she overcome the temptation of hatred to find the truth? The kidnapping of Sharon and Phyllis is a struggle, not only physical, but also mental. Both women face the most extreme challenges in their lives, and each decision they make can lead to death or survival. But while these struggles take place, the big question remains: can they really survive and take revenge on their captors, or will they have to sacrifice themselves to save the people they love? This story has just begun, and the audience will definitely not be able to take their eyes off the developments full of tension and surprises. Tensions always keep the audience glued to the screen, and the kidnapping of Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers is one of the most thrilling episodes. Both women are imprisoned in a former mental hospital, where they not only face harsh living conditions, but also have to work together to find a way to survive. This not only tests their physical strength, but also their mental strength, as both Sharon and Phyllis are pushed to the limits of their endurance. But as they face extreme situations, some interesting discoveries and clues may emerge about who is behind this kidnapping. The old mental hospital, a claustrophobic and terrifying environment. Sharon and Phyllis could not have imagined that they would have to face an old mental facility like the one that holds them. The old walls, dim lighting, and ominous sounds make this space even more oppressive. The strange alarm bells ring incessantly, making them unable to rest. These sounds serve as a reminder that they are being monitored, and their every move is being watched. Everything around them makes them feel insecure and confused, but it is an opportunity for Sharon and Phyllis to face life-and-death situations that they cannot escape. Both are trapped in a dangerous and harsh environment, not only their captor's place, but also the kidnapper's mind. Sharon and Phyllis's every move is monitored by the kidnapper, and none of their actions can escape the surveillance. However, the strange thing is that despite being threatened and monitored, they realize that they can only survive if they cooperate with each other. Cooperation between enemies. The development of the relationship. Sharon and Phyllis have had a tense and competitive relationship throughout the years. Sharon, always the steadfast and sober one, while Phyllis stands out with her strong and decisive nature. The rivalry between the two women has been going on since before they were kidnapped, and this is one of the factors that creates complexity in their relationship. However, in this situation, they have no choice but to cooperate to survive. Initially, Sharon and Phyllis both have negative feelings and do not want to work together. The hostility between them does not disappear, but gradually, Sharon begins to realize that she cannot deal with the kidnapper alone. She needs Phyllis's help. Meanwhile, Phyllis also gradually understands that no matter what, they need to cooperate to have a chance to escape this place. However, when Phyllis decides to take drastic action, this worries Sharon. These disagreements make everything more complicated. They must learn to work together, overcome the hostility and pressure from the kidnapper. This is not only a fight for survival, but also a lesson in understanding and cooperation in dangerous situations. Both women must find a way to overcome their personal differences to achieve their common goal, to escape this facility. Although they do not know who their kidnapper is, Sharon and Phyllis begin to uncover clues that may help them discover the identity of the perpetrator. One of the first interesting discoveries is the presence of some strange sounds in the mental hospital. The bells, the blues songs, and the presence of a surveillance system suggest that the kidnapper is not only watching them, but also has connections to psychological factors and terrifying situations. Sharon quickly realizes that these details may provide an important clue to escape this place. Sharon and Phyllis also notice that the kidnapper seems to be playing psychological games with them, not only watching them, but also setting challenges to see if they can overcome them. The questions related to survival games force them to find strategies to fight and win their lives. Psychological and physical trauma. During their captivity, Sharon and Phyllis endured not only psychological stress, but also physical trauma. The harsh conditions of captivity left both of them in pain and fatigue. Sharon, with her extraordinary stamina, had to fight not only fatigue but also the injuries she sustained during her captivity. Phyllis fared no better as she was forced to face challenges she never imagined. However, both women never gave up. Despite each of their own injuries, they did not give up hope and continued to fight for survival. This was not just a story of physical pain, but also a struggle of spirit and perseverance. The mystery behind the kidnapper. Who will be the culprit? As Sharon and Phyllis begin to piece together clues and uncover important details, the audience can also begin to see signs of who is behind this kidnapping. The kidnapper is not just a simple criminal, but may have more complex reasons behind his actions. As the story unfolds, it is revealed that the kidnapper could be a figure from Sharon or Phyllis's past, or even someone they never expected. One of the prominent theories is that Ian Ward, an old enemy of Sharon and Phyllis, could be behind this. Ian has targeted Sharon and Phyllis in the past, and the fact that he is still alive could be an important factor in this story. However, another character could be Patty Williams, a person with a complicated history and who is mentally unstable. Patty could be one of the people behind the kidnapping, especially since she has had issues with both Sharon and Phyllis. Whoever it is, Sharon and Phyllis will certainly face a shock when they learn the identity of the kidnapper and the motives behind his actions. A heartbreaking ending and reconciliation. Despite the physical and psychological trauma they endure, Sharon and Phyllis will eventually escape the facility. However, what they have been through cannot erase the trauma they have faced. More importantly, when they get out, Sharon and Phyllis will have a deeper understanding of each other and their relationship will no longer be the same. They